Welcome, everyone, to the Sea of Tranquility. I'm your host, Pete Pardo. You have arrived at pick number 19 of my favorite 30 albums of the 1960s. This is the countdown we're doing each and every day. Here in the month of September 2023, 30 days in the month, we're all together picking out our 30 favorite albums released in the 60s across all music genres, right? It's all up for grabs here this month of September. Today, for pick number 19, I'm going to go with an album that was released July 30th, 1969. Recorded at CBS Studios on 30th Street in New York City. Produced by Teo Macero for Columbia Records. I am talking about Miles Davis, In a Silent Way. Yes, indeed. One of the first jazz fusion albums, certainly the first for Miles Davis. This is George Leme's favorite album of all time. He just doesn't know it yet. This is a groundbreaker. This is where Miles finally decided to experiment and go down avenues that veered away from traditional bop towards more rock-based ideas in his musical landscape. Adding some electricity to some of the instruments, moving towards things like Bitches Brew and Jack Johnson and On the Corner and all those albums, right? This is kind of where it really all started. This was basically one session filled with some amazing musicians, one afternoon. Miles Davis on trumpet, Wayne Shorter, the late great Wayne Shorter, on soprano saxophone. God, how many of these guys are no longer with us? John McLaughlin, he's still around, on electric guitar. Chick Corea, the late great Chick Corea, on electric piano. Herbie Hancock on electric piano. Joe Zawinul, electric piano and organ. Dave Holland, double bass, and Tony Williams on drums. It's just really sad that most of those cats are no longer with us, but we still have a few legends left, right? Just a couple long tracks here. Basically, two side-long pieces, movements, epics, whatever you want to call it. Starts off with shh, peaceful, on side A, 18 minutes long. You can just hear the kind of like floating arrangements and the bubbling into the bass and the occasional raucous shards of guitar from McLaughlin and all those lovely electric piano tones from Corea, Zawinul, and Hancock. Does it get any better than that trio right there? I mean, Jesus. Miles just kind of floating over the top of it with his ethereal trumpet bleats and whatever. Over on side 2, you get In a Silent Way / It's About That Time, just under 20 minutes long. All right, so Miles wrote side 1, Zawinul and Davis co-wrote side 2. And each one of these is broken into 3 parts. So on the first side, you get shh, peaceful, and shh again. Over on side 2, you get In a Silent Way, It's About That Time, and In a Silent Way back again. So it's kind of interesting how that worked out, right? And as with a lot of these Miles Davis albums from this time period, the music and the arrangements just kind of bubble and boil and weave and twist and undulate and ooze. It's not really jazz. It's not really rock. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. It's kind of weirdly psychedelic, right? Because Miles is like digesting all the other music outside the jazz spectrum like a sponge at this time, and he's really looking to do some different things, but bringing in musicians who can help him go to those places, hit those parts unknown, right? I will say this album, when you compare it to the couple that came afterwards, which are much more kind of savage and just oddly noisy and raucous, this is much more sedate, but still the seeds are here. This is Miles starting to go down that road, and then, really taking advantage of like a guy like John McLaughlin, right? Starting with Bitches Brew. Whereas I think John's a little bit more kind of reserved on this recording, but he's definitely there. But there's some moments here, but this is, to me, a much more dare I say, beautiful album than the ones to come, which maybe are not all that beautiful. It's beautiful music to me, but I mean, as far as like overall, Bitches Brew and Jack Johnson are harsh albums. they're rumbling and raucous and dangerous. This is not that. This is more like mysterious, I think, which is part of its charm. So again, you don't get those without this. And while I generally go to those two above this one, I still love this album, and it's still, I think, one of his most important albums because it signaled that shift into a new era for him. Just in a way, kind of like On the Corner started his kind of descent into this odd, funky music, right? The funk fusion type of thing that he did then for another few years. So Miles has all these eras. If you've studied or listened, followed the music of Miles Davis, he's got all these eras, which each era is a slight or sometimes major stylistic shift in the tone of the music. This is where the fusion era starts. So, yeah. Good stuff. All right, charting position. U.S. Billboard Top Albums chart. This made it to number 134. It's also hit the jazz charts at number 3 and hit the soul charts at number 40. I don't know. No soul on this album, if you ask me. And I do not believe this had any sort of certifications. Let me just double check here. Don't believe so. No, and you can get this in various formats and whatnot. I also have a pretty expansive multi-disc set, which gives you all the music recorded during the session, which is pretty cool and pretty crazy at the same time. So that is also available. This is the original Columbia Jazz Masterpiece album. So yeah, dig this quite a bit. Had to be on my list. Big Miles Davis fan and a big fan of this particular period in his career. So yeah, let us know what you think of In a Silent Way. George, we don't need to know what you think. I already know what you think, unfortunately. But everybody else, let us know what you think, as well as your pick for today, pick number 19. And visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page for all sorts of Sea of Tranquility gear, and our Cameo page where you can get a personalized video from myself. So thanks in advance, everybody. We'll stay tuned till tomorrow. Got lots coming up tomorrow. We got pick number 18 starting you off first thing in the morning. All right, so don't miss that one at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we got some new album reviews for you tomorrow. We've got, let's see, new Flower Kings. We've got the new Primal Fear. We've got the new Alice Cooper and a couple other surprises, I think. So lots coming. We got a whole, I just was talking so proudly a week or two ago about how all my reviews that I was trying to get to over the last month or so, I got them all done. Well, since then, they've been replaced by another dozen or so. It's the way it goes, right? It just never ends. So, yeah, so we got more stuff coming, what do we have coming up in the days and weeks ahead, other than what I just mentioned to you? We got the new St. Karloff. We got the new Spirit Adrift. We've got new Steve Hackett Live. We've got, like I said, Albert Bouchard. We've got, what else is sitting here? Sitting pretty. We got the new Horan. We got, some cool stoner space rock stuff. We got the new Mutoid Man. We've got new Trevor Rabin is here. What else? All sorts of stuff. So you don't want to miss any of it. That's each and every Wednesday. What's Hot with Sea Tranquility Day. Stay tuned tomorrow for a bunch of them. And we'll see you also this week. We got the Monsters Den coming up. We're going to take a look at the career of William Friedkin, who just passed away recently. We're mostly going to be talking about The Exorcist this Thursday on the Monsters Den. Friday morning at the Fun House with Martin Popoff. We're going to talk about trilogy albums, right? These 3 albums in a row from specific bands that kind of form a trilogy in one aspect or another. Maybe it's got the same producer. Maybe thematically they're the same. Musically they're the same. Maybe they all have the same singer, the same guitar player, or whatever. There's reasons why these 3 albums, in our opinions, are kind of tied together as a trilogy. So we're going to be talking about that on Friday. And then, of course, we've got ranking the albums coming up as Tala belches. She's been... Got to stay away from that Budweiser. I'm telling you, it's no good. And then on Sunday, we've got Ranking the Albums. I'll be joined by Craig Kaminsky. We will be talking about and ranking the albums of Scott Wino Reinrich's very cool band, The Obsessed, for all you Doom and Stoner fans. So that's coming up on Sunday. So till then, I am Pete Pardo. Have a good day, everyone. See you tomorrow with more stuff. Till then, bye bye.